Have you ever sat down for a meal, maybe, perfectly cooked burger or a crisp, fresh salad, and paused to think about the invisible layers of protection that ensure it's safe to eat? It's something we often take completely for granted, right? But behind every bite is this meticulous system designed to safeguard our health.
It's true that daily trust is quietly built upon, well, a vast foundation of unseen expertise and rigorous standards.
Absolutely. So today on The Deep Dive, our mission is to pull back the curtain on one of the most vital yet often unsung roles in that system, the food inspector.
Right.
We're going to dive into the specific skills, the deep knowledge, and the sharp judgment they need to keep public health safe, giving you a real insider's look at this crucial job.
And for this deep dive, we're drawing our insights from a really practical source, an interview guide designed to prepare aspiring food inspectors.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's packed with real-world scenarios and expert tips, which gives us a very sort of grounded understanding of what this role truly entails.
Okay, so when most of us think of food inspection, our minds might jump straight to someone in a hairnet with a clipboard, checking a thermometer.
Yeah, the classic image.
But it starts with a much deeper, more fundamental knowledge base. So let's unpack this. What's the fundamental academic and practical bedrock for someone stepping into this critical role? Is it all about following a checklist, or is there like a strong intuitive component as well?
That's a powerful point. Well, the checklist is definitely part of it. The foundation is absolutely crucial. First, prior experience in food safety isn't just a nice to have, it's incredibly important.
Right.
We're talking about direct roles, like regularly monitoring hygiene standards in a food production company, conducting compliance checks, or handling safety protocols.
Okay.
This isn't just theory. It's about applying knowledge in dynamic environments from day one, which really builds that practical intuition you mentioned.
So hands-on experience matters just as much as what you learn in a classroom.
Oh.
But alongside that, I imagine there's a mountain of regulations to understand.
Precisely. A deep understanding of regulations is, well, it's non-negotiable. For instance, an inspector needs to be thoroughly familiar with the latest FDA food safety standards, or their equivalent globally, and know how to apply them. That means methodically reviewing procedures and records on site, documenting findings, and then clearly communicating those results with practical recommendations.
Yeah.
For example, our source describes helping a supplier adjust their storage practices to meet temperature controls, directly improving their compliance, that kind of thing.
That's a tangible impact. Speaking of regulations, I've heard of the Food Safety Modernization Act, or FSMA. Could you tell us what FSMA stands for and how that factors into an inspector's work?
FSMA. Yeah, what's fascinating here is that while FSMA is a U.S. law, the Food Safety Modernization Act, its principles really resonate globally.
Okay.
It marks a significant shift from reacting to food safety issues to preventing them.
Prevention, right.
Exactly. This emphasis on proactive measures and risk-based controls is vital. Inspectors are now looking to anticipate where hazards might arise and ensure systems are in place to stop them before they become a problem. It's about being ahead of the curve, not just cleaning up after a mess.
So it's about prevention rather than reaction. Beyond anticipating problems, what specific credentials do these guardians of our food typically hold?
Prevention truly is key.
Yeah.
And essential certifications and training are also a must. Our source mentions qualifications like the Level 3 Award in Food Safety and Catering, which provides a solid understanding of safe food handling. And critically, training in HACCP principles, hazard analysis, and critical control points is fundamental.
HACCP, okay. What does that involve?
Think of HACCP like setting up critical checkpoints in a factory, ensuring pasteurization temperatures are precisely met, or that raw and cooked foods are never cross-contaminated.
I see.
It's about identifying and controlling risks at specific stages where hazards can be prevented, eliminated, or reduced to safe levels. Very systematic.
So it's a blend of practical experience, regulatory know-how, and specialized training. But beyond the rules, there's a real deep dive into the science of food itself, isn't there? Things like how food is preserved and what microscopic dangers to look for.
Absolutely. The scientific acumen is foundational. Take food preservation methods. Inspectors need to understand freezing, refrigeration, canning, drying, pickling, all of it. Each method slows spoilage or microbial growth in a specific way. For instance, inspectors aren't just checking if a freezer is cold. They understand how that consistent sub-zero temperature inhibits bacterial activity and why temperature fluctuations can compromise safety.
Right, the why behind it.
Exactly. Or with canning, they know the specific heat treatments required to eliminate dangerous microbes, understanding that a slight misstep can have really serious consequences.
So they're understanding the science behind the temperature, not just the number. What about identifying invisible threats, the microscopic stuff?
That's where microbial analysis comes in. This involves carefully collecting samples aseptically, meaning without introducing any outside contaminants, then homogenizing them or thoroughly mixing them to get a uniform test portion. They then use standard methods like plate counts, where they actually grow and count bacteria, or sometimes faster rapid tests.
Oh.
And what's truly groundbreaking here is the speed and precision of modern microbial analysis. Inspectors are effectively acting as detectives, using advanced lab methods to catch invisible threats like listeria before they can cause widespread illness.
So they can stop an outbreak before it really starts.
Potentially, yes. Turning a potential epidemic into a contained incident, like we've seen in testing ready-to-eat salads, for example.
That sounds like a very meticulous, high-stakes process. What happens when a pathogen is detected?
This raises an important point because the response is critical. The process involves collecting representative samples, sending them to the lab for methods like culturing or maybe molecular tests, then rigorously assessing the risk. If a positive result comes back, swift and necessary actions are taken. This could range from ordering improved hygiene practices to initiating product recalls, like the quick removal of contaminated produce you sometimes hear about. It's all about protecting public health.
That's intense. Beyond the microscopic, what are the common, more visible contaminants inspectors are looking for during a routine visit?
Yeah, during inspections, they're looking for a range of common food contaminants that can pose immediate risks. This includes bacteria like Salmonella and E. coli, which often stem from poor hygiene or cross-contamination.
Makes sense.
They also watch out for chemical residues like pesticides or cleaning agents that weren't properly rinsed.
Oh, right.
And physical hazards like broken glass or metal fragments. Increasingly, a keen eye is also kept out for allergens, making sure those risks are managed consistently and clearly labeled. Public health protection again.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting, I think. It's not just about knowing the rules, it's about applying them, especially when things get tough or when you're dealing with real people in real time.
Yeah.
How do food inspectors navigate those challenging on-the-ground situations, especially when facing resistance or maybe disagreement?
That's where the blend of scientific knowledge and human diplomacy really comes into play. What's fascinating here is that interaction. Imagine discovering inconsistent food storage temperatures at a busy local market, risking contamination.
Okay.
A skilled inspector might calmly approach the vendor, explain the potential hazards without accusation, and then collaboratively explore practical steps for immediate improvement.
So not just pointing fingers.
Exactly. I remember one inspector telling me about a bakery where the owner insisted their old fridge was fine. Instead of just issuing a fine immediately, the inspector showed them data on bacterial growth at those specific temperatures.
Ah, the evidence.
Yes. And together, they brainstormed temporary solutions for perishable ingredients until a new unit arrived. By maintaining a respectful dialogue and focusing on solutions, they often ensure compliance without major disruption. It highlights the importance of cooperation.
That takes a lot of skill. Not just finding the problem, but guiding them to fix it, potentially against initial resistance. How do they handle more persistent non-compliance issues?
Well, when encountering non-compliance, the approach is often to first understand the reasons behind it. Asking questions, listening carefully. Is it a lack of understanding or resources, or maybe just oversight? Then, they clearly explain the relevant regulations, making sure the business knows that it's expected. And crucially, where possible, they offer practical guidance, turning a potential issue into an opportunity for better food safety. Like helping that small bakery adjust storage practices, or even suggesting grants for equipment upgrades.
So it's about education and partnership, but how do inspectors balance that with the undeniable need for strict enforcement when public health is on the line? What about critical issues like immediate health risks?
That's a very fair question, and it's definitely a tightrope walk. In critical situations, like finding improper storage of raw ingredients directly above ready-to-eat products, a clear, immediate risk of cross-contamination, an inspector has to act decisively.
Right, no messing around there.
Exactly. They immediately point out the issue, explaining the potential health hazards in no uncertain terms, referencing the specific regulations. Then, they work with the staff right then and there to reorganize storage practices, ensure clear separation, enhance overall hygiene and compliance. In those cases, there's less room for negotiation. It's about swift identification and effective resolution to protect consumers.
This all sounds like it hinges so heavily on communication. It's one thing to find a problem, another entirely to articulate it and get someone to change their practices, especially if they're defensive.
It really does.
How do they master professional communication, especially when delivering tough news?
That's a crucial skill. When a food establishment disagrees with findings, an inspector needs to stay calm, listen carefully to their concerns, and then provide clear, undeniable evidence, often referring back to the specific regulation.
Back to the facts.
Always back to the facts. Often, a respectful conversation, backed by facts, helps clarify misunderstandings. Our source describes a situation where an inspector resolved a disagreement by patiently walking a manager through the inspection criteria, showing exactly where they fell short.
Ah, I see.
That helped them understand the reasons and cooperate on an improvement plan. It's about being firm on facts, but flexible on approach,
It sounds like they're educators as much as enforcers. When they've completed an inspection, how are those results actually communicated to owners or managers?
When sharing inspection results, the aim is always clarity and respect. They explain any issues found, why they matter in terms of public health, and then suggest practical, actionable steps for improvement.
So constructive.
Very much so. For example, if poor food storage is noted, they don't just state the violation, they describe the inherent risks like bacterial growth and offer simple, achievable solutions. This approach helps owners understand and feel supported rather than simply criticized. It makes collaboration much easier and more productive.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about guiding them, not just dictating. But what if the owner isn't an expert themselves? How do you break down complex regulations for someone unfamiliar with all the jargon?
This is a key skill, absolutely. The inspector needs to break down requirements into clear, everyday language, often using simple, relatable examples.
Right.
Imagine explaining sophisticated food safety rules to a small cafe owner who's maybe unfamiliar with the technical terms. You'd use practical scenarios like the proper internal cooking temperatures for burgers or how to prevent raw chicken from dripping onto fresh produce. Providing practical steps to follow rather than just citing legal code numbers, it's about demystifying the rules.
So really tailoring the message to the audience, what methods ensure clear and effective communication generally during inspections from start to finish?
During inspections, it's really about being clear and approachable, explaining findings in straightforward language, asking questions to confirm understanding, encouraging open dialogue so they feel they can ask questions too, and documenting findings clearly to prevent miscommunication later.
Like a two-way street.
Exactly, it's a two-way street. For example, walking an owner through each step of the inspection, explaining what they're looking for and why, builds trust and ensures they understand the necessary actions. It's really an ongoing conversation throughout the process.
And what about those tough conversations with staff, maybe not the owner, where the stakes feel personal and emotions can run high?
Yeah, those can be tricky. In difficult conversations with food establishment staff, the focus is always on clarity, respect, and empathy. The inspector often listens first to understand their perspective, then calmly explains the issues, always highlighting the health and safety reasons.
Focusing on the why.
Precisely. Discussing how improper storage risks customer health rather than just pointing fingers at a mistake. Keeping the conversation collaborative, emphasizing a shared goal of safety, helps build trust and encourages positive changes from within.
It's a delicate balance of science, law, and diplomacy. Beyond routine checks, food inspectors are also called in during crises, like a foodborne illness outbreak. What precise steps do they take then? That must be intense.
Oh, absolutely intense. When investigating a foodborne illness outbreak, they immediately shift into high-gear detective mode. First, they collect detailed reports from affected individuals and local health services to understand the scope and symptoms.
Okay.
Then, they meticulously review lab results to identify the specific pathogen, and crucially, they trace the supply chain backwards, sometimes through multiple suppliers, to pinpoint the likely source of contamination.
Wow, that sounds complex.
It can be. Once identified, they work quickly with businesses to control the risk, which might involve a product recall, all while keeping the public informed to prevent further cases. Quick action, like the removal of contaminated produce from shelves, is absolutely critical to containing the spread.
So, looking beyond the immediate inspection or crisis, what does this all mean for the ongoing commitment to public safety and the broader sort of strategic role of a food inspector? What other qualities are essential for success, and how do they ensure continuous improvement in the field?
That's a great question, thinking about the bigger picture. Prioritization is absolutely key. When faced with multiple food safety concerns, an inspector assesses the severity and potential public health impact first.
Makes sense.
They'll always focus on anything that could cause immediate harm, like a significant contamination risk, before dealing with less urgent matters, such as, say, a minor labeling error. It's about triage, really, ensuring the most dangerous issues are tackled first.
So they triage situations based on urgency and potential harm. Are they also involved in proactive initiatives to prevent issues in the first place, or is it mainly reactive work?
Oh, they're definitely proactive.
Yeah.
Our source provides a fantastic example of leading a successful food safety initiative, like introducing a streamlined inspection checklist.
Oh, okay.
This not only made identifying potential hazards quicker and clearer, but actually led to a noticeable drop in non-compliance issues. It even boosted teamwork through targeted training sessions that went along with it. It truly shows their ability to drive positive, systemic change, moving beyond just individual checks, thinking bigger picture.
That's impressive. The landscape of food safety is always evolving, isn't it? New science, new regulations emerging constantly. How do food inspectors stay updated and ensure their knowledge is always current?
Continuous learning and professional development are absolutely fundamental. It's an endless learning journey, really. They regularly review updates from government bodies like the Food Standards Agency, attend industry workshops, subscribe to relevant newsletters, and participate in inspector forums online or in person.
So staying connected.
Exactly. This way, their knowledge reflects any new regulations or best practices, like staying informed about the latest allergen labeling changes to properly guide local businesses. They also commit to ongoing professional development through conferences, getting new certifications, taking online courses. It never stops.
And what about the paperwork side of things? Documentation is obviously crucial, but what's the deeper significance of meticulous record keeping in this field? It sounds like more than just ticking boxes.
It absolutely is, and attention to detail here is paramount. What's truly insightful is how their meticulous record keeping often becomes a critical thread, linking disparate outbreaks perhaps, proving non-compliance over time, and even shaping future policy.
Right.
It's not just paperwork, it's a legal and public health blueprint. They accurately record observations, highlighting both issues and positive practices, use clear language in official reports, recommend corrective actions, and maintain organized records for timely follow-up.
And what specific documentation do they typically require from food establishments to verify compliance during an inspection? What are they looking for?
To ensure compliance, they look for key documents like food hygiene certificates for staff, supplier delivery notes to trace ingredients back to their source.
Traceability, yeah.
Exactly. Detailed cleaning schedules, pest control reports. These documents, collectively, provide a clear picture of how the establishment manages risks and maintains safety standards over time. It tells a story.
It's clear this isn't a solo job either. How do they collaborate with other agencies and departments? You mentioned local councils earlier.
Yeah, collaboration with local and federal food safety agencies is essential. An inspector might coordinate closely with local council environmental health officers for routine inspections and compliance issues, sharing information and insights. This deepens their collective understanding of regulatory requirements and strengthens their ability to communicate effectively with various bodies, creating a much broader safety net for the public.
So beyond all the technical and scientific expertise we've discussed, which is huge, what are some of the other crucial soft skills that truly make a successful food inspector stand out?
Yeah, beyond the hard skills, critical interview qualities mentioned in our source include a meticulous attention to detail. We talk about that with documentation. Strong communication skills, obviously. The ability to work independently, because they're often out there on their own, and excellent problem-solving capabilities. These ensure they can apply their vast knowledge effectively and navigate complex, often very human, situations with grace and authority.
What an incredible deep dive into a profession we rarely give a second thought to. We've journeyed through the intricate world of food inspection, uncovering the vital blend of scientific knowledge, regulatory expertise, critical thinking, and those crucial communication skills required.
It's truly a role that bridges complex science and practical application, safeguarding our daily meals in ways most of us never even see. They really are vital, often unsung heroes working tirelessly behind the scenes.
Yeah, our deep dive has certainly shown the depth of their work. It leaves me with a thought-provoking question for you, our listener. Given the meticulous attention to detail and proactive measures involved in food safety, What other critical behind-the-scenes professions might be safeguarding aspects of your life you rarely consider? And how might understanding their complexities deepen your appreciation for everyday trust?